Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Bengt. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're talking about how to fix your fucking life, man. Now, that is obviously a pretty daunting task, and depending on where you're at in the slippery slope of analyzing how well you're doing in comparison to others and in the scheme of the world, well, then that might be a very intimidating task to even think about, let alone start taking action on. So I want to break it down a little bit smaller, make it feel a little more bite-sized, make it feel a little bit more actionable, something you can actually start doing, sooner than later to kind of bring yourself hopefully out of a toxic shit fucking mess and towards maybe living a life that you actually want, or at least one that would feel like it's closer to one that you actually want. And there are so many things that could be going wrong, right? But when I think about fixing my life, for me, I know that in order for me to get to where I want to go, to be the person that I want to be, and to achieve the things that are important to me that I want to accomplish at some point in my life, then 99% of it comes down to the habits that we have, the things that we do every single day. You can think about your daily routine, you can think about the habits and the things that you do as the seeds that you water. What you pay attention to, the things that you repeat, that's who you become. So there are some things that you probably are doing that you want to keep doing and probably do more of and with more consistency. And then there's probably some other things that if you think about it, you're like, yeah, I don't know if I really want that to be me. I don't know if I want to continue to water that seed. I don't want to continue to reap the harvest of that particular crop because it's not doing what I want and it's not good for my life, and it's just not doesn't align with the future that I see myself having. That's the ideal version of myself, right? So when I look at my life and the improvements that I've made to it and the things that have been the most beneficial and impactful for me, and that I can honestly say and feel like is good advice, is focusing on building up habits specifically around like the foundation of, I guess, what you could call self-improvement, or the things that like make the biggest impact, at least for me personally. This is where for some people it could differ, but really there's like three main habits, maybe 4 or 5 if you want to slip a couple extras in there, and we'll talk about all of them, that like once I get those things dialed in as far as my life goes, then all the other good habits that I want, I can stack on top of those. And if you're unfamiliar with habit stacking, basically it is probably the biggest cheat code to getting more stuff done in the same amount of time that you have every single day. And honestly, that is the biggest battle that we're all fighting is, depending on how much you sleep, we've all got the same, call it 8 to 12 hours a day to really make the majority of what we want happen in our life. And if you assume that, if you're in a position where you work a job or have a business or something like that, you probably spend, between 8 to 10 hours of your working day focused on completing tasks for your job or for your business. So I'm aware that not everybody has all day, every day to focus on these things. So it's like what we're doing is we're working on the couple of hours that we have at the beginning and at the end of our day, and that's where you need to like fit as much stuff in as possible. And that's where habit stacking really does make a huge difference. If you can take 1, 2, 3, or 4 maybe core habits that you have that you do with religious consistency, and you can start to attach other micro tasks onto those particular habits. And I'll give you some examples. So the 3 big ones for me, that once I get these things dialed in and I have to stick with it no matter what, is, for one, exercise routine. Going to the gym consistently is probably the biggest benefactor to me keeping my head on straight, not falling into slumps of like depression or like overthinking the fuck out of everything and like just getting stressed out and kind of like trapped in my own head. Exercise, for me at least, is the key to the lock for all of those particular things. A lot of it being mental, but also it's like There are physical benefits as well. Obviously, like, I like to be strong. I like to have muscles and shit. But for me, going to the gym is more of a discipline of doing hard things and proving to myself that I'm worthy of something and that I respect myself than it is about getting fucking swole. So that checks a lot of boxes for me mentally. Going to the gym, super, super important. Also, for me, the gym and working out, exercising is something that I think it's the swallowing of the frog. So doing something hard makes all the other shit that I got to do that day easier. And also it's dopamine that my brain had to fight for a little bit. I've noticed that on days where I wake up and I go to the gym, somewhere between the start of my day, I wouldn't say like first thing in the morning when I wake up, I'm kind of a slow roller, you know what I mean? I like to, piddle and fuck around in the mornings a little bit and kind of just like let my brain turn on a bit before I go to exercising. It's not something I like to do right away in the morning, but at some point, once I come around and my brain's active again and I'm like feeling turned on, like, just, I'm like functioning, you know what I mean? That's when the gym is a good idea. It's that hard-fought dopamine, that doing something that's a little bit difficult, but feeling good and getting the reward for it. That, for me, makes a huge difference. And also, I've noticed that going to the gym and doing that hard thing and the I feel good that you get after working out makes me way less likely to sabotage or fuck up the other areas of self-improvement or habits that I need to do as well. If I wake up in the morning, rustle around a bit, get things ready for the day, kind of turn my brain on, eat some food, whatever, and then go to the gym, the rest of the day, I am way less likely to do anything to sabotage myself because the act of going to the gym and the dopamine that I've got feeling good from, finishing a hard workout makes me way less likely to do other dumb shit because I want to keep that feeling going. It's like, oh, well, I just went to the gym and did some hard shit. I feel good. I should go get some work done so I can feel even better. I should eat healthy food and not like fuck up my diet because I just did all this work to get the muscles and have the body that I have. Why would I like set myself back? It's going to create more work for me to do in the gym tomorrow. So it's like, you can see how like it creates the upward spiral of I've done something hard. I feel good about it. I want to do more hard things to keep feeling better, not do shitty, like cheap, easy dopamine things because that's what I've been doing all day. So I can't spiral up out of that because my brain has become used to getting dopamine for doing nothing. So it's harder to take an action in the other direction to start doing things that are hard for the dopamine. So the gym is great as kind of like a baseline level. Get yourself feeling good, get some endorphins, go for a walk, lift some heavy shit, get some testosterone fucking pumping in you if you're a guy. All those things will help a lot as far as just kind of setting the baseline of your mood for the rest of that day. The second kind of core pillar, so core pillar number 1 is exercise and consistency in the gym. I record these videos on the way to the gym. So this is an example. You'll start to see how I link all these things together, and at the end of the day, it ends up being productive, and I get the shit done that I need to by kind of interstacking all of these different things. I want to take YouTube a bit more seriously. I understand the power that content has. I want to continue to create content. I want to have a voice. I want to have a platform. I want to do all of these things. Having some sort of following or audience and being someone that's creative and building or doing something is important to me. I spiritually kind of feel fulfilled by creating content. It feels like I'm taking something that's in my brain, putting it out into the world, creating something, right? I'm very creative, always have been. I've always liked music, art, all this other stuff. I need to be like building or doing something. Right now, YouTube is the way that I scratch that itch. So it's like, all right, I can record these videos on my way to the gym. It takes me about 10, 15, 25 minutes, whatever, somewhere in that window, depending on traffic to get to the gym. That is my time frame every single day that I can record these videos because I'm also in a good environment where the sound is right. It's just like the time is there. It's also a good environment. Also, it's like I'm not doing anything else. For me, talking and driving, talking in the shower, those are the 2 times where if like I had to film 24/7, that would be the ideal scenario. Talking in the shower and making these videos in the shower would be a little awkward for you and for me. So here we are in the car on the way to the gym making it happen. That's an example of utilizing your time in these in-between positions and also capitalizing on stacking habits. I go to the gym, which means that on my way to the gym or potentially on the way home as well, I can film videos. Filming videos is another like kind of micro goal I'm trying to accomplish with that. Also, it's like on my way to the gym, I can use my fucking hydrogen water, I can drink my creatine, and it's like you can see how like all these tiny other little things, like taking my supplements, drinking enough water, going to the gym, filming YouTube videos, all of that stuff is combined into like one task. So that's kind of like pillar number one. And there's a lot of other stuff like meal prep and all these other things that kind of go into pillar number two, which also helps with the gym, but that is keeping my diet as strict as possible. I have been meal prepping, eating pretty much the same goddamn thing for like the past 3 weeks. And honestly, I feel great. At the beginning of this year, kind of like the week before / the week of going into 2025, I did a gut cleanse, did a colon cleanse, really just like kind of flushed my system out. Also, like a week or two before that, I had stopped taking any nicotine and significantly reduced the amount of caffeine usage that I was doing. So like I really made it a point at the beginning of this year to like get my gut health right, get my fucking brain and like dopamine circuitry kind of firing at a lower baseline level, because I had been abusing the shit out of it last year with stimulants and shit like that, which we can talk about in other videos. But I mean, it was just so necessary for me to do a hard reset on my mental health and gut health. So that was operation number one, kind of going into the beginning of this year. So as a result of that, you know, I've felt clean, I've felt really good, and consistency with my diet is something that has helped immensely with that. So it might sound absolutely insane or like boring to people, but I have boxed meals, like meal prep boxes, the little plastic bins, you know what I'm talking about, and I'll eat like 2 of them a day. Inside each one is half a pound of ground beef, 1 cup of rice, 2 eggs, and then I do seasoning and sauce to taste based off of, you know, whatever flavors and stuff I'm feeling like that day. Also, I put honey on top of it. So that is like my meal. That is what I eat, and I eat it 2 or 3 times a day depending on how hungry I am and, you know, how I'm feeling. So it's like I eat the same shit every single day, and I have snacks here and there. I'll have like a smoothie or protein powder or like some other high protein snack if I can, or fruit. That's the other kind of alternative that I'll mix in between. So keeping my diet right keeps my gut and keeps my brain healthy and functioning. And also I've noticed that like I just feel better on a really simple diet. I know it's like, I don't know how the scientific knowledge to fully explain why it's good, but it's like if your gut has a memory, it can get really, really good at digesting a couple of foods, and it can start to get to a point where it's like it knows the drill and it can do that over and over and over. Also, just avoiding processed foods and like high sugar content foods, and like that'll do a lot as far as freeing up your mental space and your gut feeling a little bit better as well. So for me, it's like, in order for the gym to feel and operate the best, I need to have a healthy diet, so naturally that falls into place. Also, having consistency with my diet makes me feel good, and so I'm less likely to want to kind of abuse other things like caffeine or nicotine. Those are probably my 2 drugs of choice, to be completely real with you, and both of those are appetite suppressants. So it's like if I'm feeling hungry and don't know what to eat, it's like, oh, the dumb brain solution to that is like, oh, well, if I drink some caffeine or nicotine, I won't be hungry. Or if I'm using those things or like abusing them, like taking way too much, then naturally I'm just kind of not hungry as a result of that. So I'm skipping meals and not eating like only once a day, shit like that. So keeping a consistency with the diet not only maximizes the effort that I'm making in the gym, but also keeps my head and my stomach kind of aligned and in check. And obviously I don't need to explain why eating healthy is a good choice. So pillar number 2 is the diet. Pillar number 3 is control of my sexual energy and utilizing that to its best potential. I guess to put it in less fucking gray terms, like, bro, don't fucking watch porn, don't beat off, don't bust nuts unnecessarily. I have a girlfriend, I see her from time to time, you know what I mean? It happens, we be doing what we do, but at the end of the day, if that is not the situation that's happening, using the sexual energy that I have to focus on creative ventures, building a business, doing stuff like this is the move. Semen retention, no fap, as much as you want to like maybe clown on or say that shit is fucking corny, which I understand because some of the videos and like the culture about it online in the self-improvement space is a little like hardcore, but you know, generally speaking, I do think that there is some benefit to it. A lot of benefit to it actually. And that in combination, again, it all kind of stacks on top of everything before. You know, when you're on semen retention or not, like just fucking busting a bunch of nuts carelessly, your ability to absorb nutrients, your ability to basically have testosterone spikes, all of these things, like it just stacks on top of the other two stuff we mentioned before of like having a good consistent diet and going to the gym and making progress there. So that for me also, just like when you think about doing all of these habits and stacking them consistently and doing them consistently, in order for that to be possible, you kind of have to have your dopamine levels like regulated, because these things are easy to do for like 3 or 4 days straight, but it's really like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 3 months, years long of doing them over and over and over where the discipline is required. And for that, you need to have your dopamine levels kind of in check. Porn and masturbation is like the quickest, easiest way to completely jack up all of your dopamine. And if you don't know how dopamine works, it's like once you fucking experience a high, feel-good activity, you kind of go into a refractory period where you actually dip below baseline, you start to feel worse. And once that happens, now you start chasing the feeling of feeling good again. So that's when you're like 10 times, 100 times more likely to start doing other bad things that are continuing to set you back. But in reality, all you're trying to do is just offset that negative kind of reaction of the feel good that you got. I hope that made sense. If I lost you, don't worry. I hope we can make this make sense. In other videos, we'll talk more about it. But basically, if you want to stay disciplined and focused on doing hard things for a long period of time, you need to condition your brain to like hard things. If you give it easy, cheap dopamine, whether you think you are going to be able to keep it under wraps or not, you won't, because bro, your brain is more powerful than you are 9 times out of 10. Most of you watching this video will probably, if you really do some self-reflection, be able to admit that. I can admit that. I need to make it as hard for my brain to do things that I don't want it to do as physically and humanly possible, and basically surround myself only by productive shit, because otherwise my brain just goes off the fucking rails. You know what I mean? Like, it happens to all of us. So stacking these habits together, like we've talked about for pretty much the majority of this video, like that for me is the key to getting all of them done and doing them all consistently and making sure that all of it's happening. Because it's like all I have to do is remember to do those 3 things and all the other stuff stacks on top of it. So the 3 pillars for me, at least, like if I can get these 3 things right and keep them right consistently, everything else about my life just improves. Exercise consistently, diet clean and consistent as well, and then appropriate use of sexual energy. I'm not saying go hardcore into the fucking semen retention, no fap stuff. Like, I'm just saying be responsible is all. Be responsible. Use it appropriately. Once those 3 things are established and there's a baseline there, the other 2 or so potential things that are really, really important that I also use to stack a lot of habits together would be the kind of 4th pillar, I guess, would be sleep and going to sleep on time. Waking up early is something that has never been easy for me. I would definitely consider myself to be kind of a night owl. Like if I just let myself go completely and throw circadian rhythm and throw the way that the world works on its schedule out the fucking window, then I pretty much go to bed at like 2 or 3 in the morning and wake up at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And that is so unbelievably unproductive when you try to operate in a world that works 9 to 5. Doing business becomes hard, having relationships becomes hard, getting daily necessity shit like going to the grocery store. God damn it, my phone died. Anyways, what I was saying before was waking up early really is the move, and it's extremely hard to just be a functional member of society when you're waking up at 3 in the afternoon and going to bed at like 3 in the morning. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work for me, doesn't work for my business. All those things just get increasingly harder. And I would say that waking up early at a reasonable time is also kind of similar to the gym in the fact that when you wake up early, you're like, wow, I have all this time. I have a full day ahead of me. All of these tasks start to feel less of like an emergency because you've got time to deal with them and you have resources and energy to take them on. When you wake up at 3 in the afternoon and you've got a bunch of shit to do, like, and you feel like your whole day is like basically 6 to 8 hours behind schedule, it's just easy way to have panic attacks, especially when you have a business and other things that you need to get done for other people when they're expecting things by the end of the day, and the end of the day for you is like now, basically. So yeah, man, waking up early is one of those things that has just made a huge difference for me. And also because it is something that I kind of naturally just don't do, it is one of the ones that I have to be the most careful about. It's very easy for me to end up just being awake till 3 in the morning, not really realizing it. And then it sets me back like days where I have to basically, you know, stay up for a full 24 hours and fall asleep at like 10 to like reset my sleep schedule. I've done that so many times in the past like 6 months that it's just absolutely fucked, dude. Like, it's a terrible process to have to reset your sleep schedule. So yeah, it's necessary to do it when you have to, but once you get on a good regimen and you're locked in, it's so much easier to just keep it dialed in. Also, waking up early gives me time to do other things, like reading or journaling. I'm not huge into those right now. I have been in the past, and I do appreciate them, and I do think that they're very helpful, especially reading. Like, it just, and writing, both of them really. Like, reading and getting smarter and stuff like that is something that's valuable to me. Also, manifestation and like writing things down. There is something different about writing it down than just like thinking it all the time. So those are two things that I'm starting to work back into it more. And by it, I mean the routine. But yeah, pillar number 4 is definitely sleep and keeping a consistent sleep schedule. And pillar number 5 would be hygiene. So for me, showering like twice a day. Most of the time I'll wake up and take a shower in the morning. Also, I'm at the gym right now. So when I get home from the gym, I'll shower again. And pre-shower and post-shower is another really great window of time to really stack a bunch of habits. So for me, I'll do like some other stretches and exercises right before I get into the shower. When I get in the shower, I like to do oil pulling. So like I'll take coconut oil, scoop it, put it in my mouth before I get in the shower. So I'm showering and doing that. So I'm working on like my oral hygiene, I guess, and, you know, getting my teeth right, getting my gums right, and taking a shower anyway. So it's just like stacking all those things up. And then you get out of the shower and it's like, all right, dry off, you know, fix my hair, shave, do my grooming shit. I got some like the beef tallow and shit from my face, like just floss my teeth, all those little tiny things that like you have to do it at some point, and it's beneficial to do it, and you want to like fit them into your day somehow, but it's just easier to like stack them all on top of each other. And it's like, all you have to do is like, I'm going to take a shower. And if every time you take a shower means that you do your oil pulling, you floss your teeth, you trim your fucking facial hair and do all these other things that you need to, it's like just so much easier to manage that in your day when you can stack these habits together. So if you want to fix your life, man, focus on those core pillars, or if there's others that are more important to you that you feel like make a bigger impact, focus on those and then get those down religiously, and then start to fill the space in between them, or the preparing and like the pre and post of that task, or intermediate during that task. Fill that block of time or fill that activity with as many other little tiny activities as you can. You know, it's super, super simple, but it also means that if you can nail and be consistent with the core pillar things, that means you can also be consistent with the other things. And if you fall off, or like, you know, oh man, it's been like 6 days since I remembered to do my oil pulling when I get in the shower, it's not like you're going to stop taking showers. So you just have to like restart the secondary habit with the first one again. Because as long as you keep the first ones solid and locked the fuck in, then all of the secondary ones become way easier to just like, if you fall off with them, get back on the horse and like kind of reintegrate it. So in my in my experience, that has been probably the easiest and most success that I have had as far as a method or a predictable way to kind of integrate new things into your life and phase old things out. I think if you can stick to those core pillars, you'll notice that a lot of the negative habits start to kind of slowly erode and just like pass on. So hopefully that was helpful. If you guys made it to the end of the video, you're a real one. I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. If you made it this far, you might as well. We'll be back with more videos soon. I got a full like transformation self-improvement checklist in the description. If you're interested, check that out, download that. It's got a list of all my protocols, all the supplements that I take, all the other different stuff, little tiny tips and tricks, and some things that I can't really talk about on YouTube. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And till next time, guys, stay strong, stay blessed, stay dangerous. I'll catch you in the next video, which you can watch right here. Peace.